So, Jonathan, do you have some thoughts on how to faithfully approach studying a new Bible book?
Yeah, it's a great question because, we often encounter this. We want to start the study of a new Bible book, either for our own devotional life or maybe for a teaching opportunity. And we open it up and we think, I'm just not familiar with this particular book of the Bible. I haven't studied it in some time, or I've really never given deep and sustained attention to it. And where do I begin? And how do I begin to become familiar with it and gain some facility with it? And I think there are different strategies we can employ to really help us with that, to help us make that start. I remember coming across a quotation from the English writer Rudyard Kipling some time ago in his Just So stories, where he said, "Everything I know I learned from 5 wise men: who, what, where, why, and when." The 5 wise men: who, what, where, why, and when. And I think those are great questions to employ when we come to a new Bible book, to really take those questions and ask them of the Bible book and say, all right, I'm gonna give myself now to some basic observation. I'm gonna spend some time looking at the core elements of this as a document, as a work of literature. Okay, who are the key people involved? Who wrote this book? To whom was it written? Well, who are some of the key players within the storyline? Maybe there are some key players who are actually causing some trouble for the people of God, for the Church of Jesus Christ. There's some enemies of the gospel around. Well, who are they and what are they doing? What kind of a document is this? What is its genre? Is this a gospel or an epistle? Is this a work of prophecy? What is it? And then what's in it? What are some of the key themes within this book? Where was this written? Where was the action taking place? What are the key geographical markers in this book? Good to observe that. Why? Why was this book written? Was there some crisis going on within the nation of Israel, within the people of God? Can I get any insight as to why this writer felt that this book had to be written, and what needed to be achieved in the hearts and lives of the people of God, or the people who are addressed by the book? And then when? Is there any indication of when within the history of the people of Israel, within the history of the early church, that this book was written? What indicators are there, and how can we locate this within wider history? I think those basic questions, if we give some time to ask them and even to scribble down some notes on a piece of jotting paper, that it can really help us just to observe the text. And I think it can really unlock the new Bible book for us in a profound way.
And at that stage in your preparation and your approach to a new Bible book, are you mostly just working with the English text of the Bible? Or are you just looking at a few different translations of the Bible? Or are you also considering other resources at this stage for answering these 5 questions?
Yeah. I sometimes will be engaging with the ancient languages a little bit more and sometimes a little bit less. But I think for my first read-throughs, I'll be wanting to read a good and reliable English translation. I like the English Standard Version. That's my go-to. I've used others and will consult others. But in terms of resources beyond the Bible text itself, I think having a good study Bible is a great thing. And I like the English Standard Version, the ESV Study Bible. Also, the new version of the NIV Study Bible, which has been released under a couple of different titles, but edited by D.A. Carson. I think that's a great resource. I think having a good study Bible is a real help to us. And the introductory essays in those study Bibles are often really good in helping us get our bearings. And then, of course, there are commentaries that we can purchase and collect. But I think a study Bible is a good resource for every Christian to have.
And in Bible study, I will often get questions about commentaries. And do you want to say a few things about the different kinds of commentaries and what to look for in a good one as you're preparing to study a book?
Well, I think if you're going to start collecting commentaries and using commentaries, and obviously the Bible teacher will, you want to have commentaries that take the text of the Bible seriously. So you don't want ones that are coming from a theological perspective where they're trying to sort of deconstruct the text. You want ones written by authors who believe that the text is the Word of God and are taking it seriously in that way. And then I think it's worth considering the sort of different levels at which Bible commentaries are operating. Some are operating at a very introductory level, and they're trying to give an an overview of the key issues in the text. And I think often those are some of the most valuable, honestly. And then there will be those that are dealing with, each verse in more detail and trying not to miss any of the key details of the text. And then there will be another stage where there are technical commentaries engaging with the original languages and with the scholarly literature. And I think for each student of the Bible, you need to figure out what level you want to operate on and reach in your own study. But I think it's, for me as a Bible teacher and as a preacher, I actually want to try and have some commentaries that are operating at each of those levels for each book of the Bible I study. And there are certain series of Bible commentaries I find really helpful and I return to again and again. Over the years, I've enjoyed the Bible Speaks Today series, which have been around for some time now, but certain volumes within that series are really valuable. For New Testament study, I really enjoy the Pillar series of commentaries, and I found those to be quite uniformly excellent. And we could name more and more series.